Hello, SRF Ninja here from soreelflix.com. And guess what? It's that time of the month again where I share everything that I got within this month. This month is November. I got a little bit of everything, I would guess. I got some silent films, I got DVDs, I got Blu-rays, I got steelbooks. And let's get straight down into it. All the DVDs I did reviews for. So you can check everything down right here. You'll see stuff pop up. I'll let you know when they pop up. Let's get straight down to the DVD. I got a documentary I had to do a review for. It's called Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine. Boom, boom. And I think everybody heard of Matt Shepard before. I mean, I knew about him. I never really knew his life or anything like that. He was a gay guy. Growing up, he was brutally killed by two guys in a bar. Overall, the documentary is a really cool documentary. You get to see what Matt was like growing up as a kid to an adult. Or I think he was only like 22 years old or whatever before he was killed. But anyways, he's got a ton of information in here. He even gets into a little bit of details of the guys that killed him. I wish it would have been a little bit more detailed into that section of it, but the person who made this documentary was his best friend. And hey, I'll say give this a shot if you like documentaries and if you like the subject matter. It's a really cool documentary. I would say go ahead and check this link out. Click this link right here. Check out my review and maybe pick it up for yourself. You might even be able to find it streaming. I think it was a cool little movie. Next up on DVD, The Last House, starring Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. That is Jason Mewes. Also has Felissa Rose, I think her name is. I don't know if that's her. Anyways, it's supposed to have the lady from Sleepaway Camp when she was a little girl, but she's only in it for like 2 seconds. Overall, the movie's very, very low grades, like B quality, very cheaply made. I didn't really get into this movie that much. The acting wasn't that great. Jason Mewes wasn't even really in it that much. So, it was just, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. I'll say check out my review right here, see what I think about it. Check out the trailers, check out other reviews, see if it's your thing. I would say check it out if you're into Jason Mewes, even though he's only in it a little bit. I think this has a little bit of nudity in it. I wish it was a little bit more. Next up, Forbidden Zone. This old movie, I'd never seen it before. This is a very, very weird movie. Comes in 2 editions. It comes in black and white and or color. Also, you can get this on Blu-ray as well. I got the DVD version. Looks decent on DVD. Check out my review right here. Click that guy if you want to see what I really think about it, get in more detail of it. But overall, very, very weird out there movie. Feels like I just popped acid or whatever. Going really crazy. It's got a little bit of nudity in it. And I enjoyed it. It was just way weird. It might be way too weird for some, but it was pretty cool, I thought. Check out my review. Next up, I got some Shaw Brother films, some imports. This is from IVL. Killer Constables, or Killer Constable. I think this is actually a really, really cool movie. I highly enjoy this. I recommend this. If you're into Asian action, Shaw Brothers film, this one has to be in your collection. This is not released in the US yet. Who knows if it ever will be, but if you can find this, region-free DVD player. Most DVD players can be hacked with a code, but definitely got to pick this up if you can find it. It's very rare, very hard to find, but very cool movie. Check out my review right here. I actually did a review for it, and I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. It's very good, maybe even a 5. Very good movie. I'd say it stars with one of my favorite guys. It stars Chen Quan Tai, and I say his name a lot throughout all my other videos, but definitely got to pick this up. He does a very cool job. Great action in it. I love that film. Next up, another Shaw Brothers film on DVD from IVL. This one actually has the little slipcover, which is cool. Has my man Beardy in it. Very cool movie. Not as good as that one, but I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was cool. The bad guy right here is a very weird dude. He's like dressed up, puts lipstick on and nail polish. Kind of weird, but the action in it's pretty cool, and I love Beardy. You gotta have this if you love Beardy. Gotta pick this up. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Check out my review right here. Gotta collect them all if you have one. Next up, I did another review on a documentary. I've done one about a punk documentary before, and I'm doing another punk documentary, and this one's way better. I really enjoyed this one. This is called The Color of Noise. You can pick this up on DVD or Blu-rays from MVD Visual. Highly recommend this. Even if you're not into punk, I'm not into punk, but I enjoyed this documentary. It goes into good details about punk, I guess, from a label called Amphetamine Reptile Records. Really cool, I thought. Can't say enough. I mean, some of the music actually sounds pretty cool. The score of the documentary, but overall, this is a pretty cool documentary. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. You can check out my review right here. Click that guy if you have your annotations off. Go down below. Next up, getting into some Arrow videos. Requiescant, I think I said that right, but it's actually AKA Kill and Praise, a Western movie. Some people give it a mediocre review, but I got really into this movie. I thought it was a really cool movie. This guy right here, his whole family when he was a little kid got massacred. All his peoples got killed off by some crooked American dudes, and he grows up, he gets taken in by this very religious group, but somehow he goes off on his way to find his sister or whatever. She's out there doing prostituting and stuff like that, but he picks up a gun, he shoots and kills somebody by accident. He didn't want to, and he's very sorry about it, but somehow he's a very good shot, and of course later on he uses those good skills to good use. Overall, very cool movie. I definitely would say buy this, pick this up. If you love Western films or if an Arrow video collector, pick it up. Very cool film. Check out my review right here. Click that guy. Next up from We'll Go USA, Assassination. This was a really cool movie. I highly enjoyed this. Right into the end, there's a couple things that kind of bothered me that made me drop a half a star, but you can check out my review right here. I actually mentioned those two things, but I gave this a 4 out of 5. Overall, it's a cool movie. Good action, and it's got some hand-to-hand stuff, but a lot of gunplay. Really cool movie. If you're in Asian action films, you gotta check this guy out. This is a Korean film right here. A lot of good Korean films coming out lately. Next up, on Blu-ray, I picked it up for like $3.99 during the Best Buy Black Friday deal. It's called It Follows. Very cool movie until the end. The ending's very weird. It just doesn't end, I would say. But overall, I thought it was a cool concept. I loved it. You know, for the concept, I think there should have been a lot more nudity in there, but I don't even think there is any, come think about it. But I thought it was a cool movie. It Follows. A lot of people actually do lucky gains of following, but I think I would give it a 3.5 out of 5, maybe a 4, but the ending's kind of weird. I don't really like the ending that much. Next up again, cheaply bought from Best Buy for like $3.99, The Princess Bride. Had to pick this up. I only seen bits and pieces of it throughout my life, and I highly enjoy this movie. If you haven't picked this up yet, it's a very cool movie. You gotta pick this up. It's got some great comedy in it, I think. Thought it was a good amount of laughs in it. I thought it was a cool movie. It had great comedy, cool action in it. It's a good adventure movie. Princess Bride. Gotta pick that up. Classic kind of film. Next up, had to pick up a silent film. Black and white. Very old. Starring Douglas Fairbanks in The Thief of Baghdad. This is basically where Aladdin comes from. I picked this up. I'm more into comedy when it comes to silent films, but I seen the trailer for this. I seen all the weird, crazy, big backdrops, big scenes in this thing. I was like, whoa, that kind of blew me away. So I picked it up, watched it. Man, the scenes are huge. There's walls that are like 50, 100, 200, 300 feet high. I think maybe it was like an effect they used, but a very cool movie. It's long, but I actually love the movie. It's 149 minutes. That's a long time to be watching a film with no talking in it, but it's a very cool film. I highly recommend this. If you can find it, pick it up. I got it at a cool price. I had to buy that. It was very good. Next up, had to pick this up to complete the collection, the extended edition of The Hobbit, Battle of Five Armies. Finally got to watch this for the first time. Probably the best out of the three. And that is because there's a ton of action, a lot of it. It's like an hour and some of action. Very cool movie. I love the action, and it's great to finally get it over with. See the third film of the trilogy. Very cool film. If you haven't picked it up yet, check it out. If you already seen the second two, but if you haven't seen the second two, you gotta buy those first. Next up, Trashology. I seen this. People were talking about it online. They're liking it, but for me, I thought it was complete trash. I didn't like it at all. It was very, very weird, very low grade movie, but I kind of knew that going in. I just wanted to try it out because it was a cool price of $6.99. But hey, whatever. I thought it was okay at some points, but very, very low grade movie. It feels like this is recorded on like a very cheap handheld camera, like from 1995 or something. I don't know, but it doesn't look that great, even on Blu-ray. And the movie itself is very weird, very weird. I don't know what to say about this. Check the trailer out. Maybe you might find it interesting. Next up, had to have this Inside Out on Blu-ray. I love Pixar. I have every single one of their movies, and I loved it Inside Out. Very cool. I see some people not like it, but I highly enjoyed this movie. It looks really good on Blu-ray. Highly recommend this. Buy it, pick it up, and watch it. Very cool. It doesn't disappoint, I don't think. And let's get down into my box sets. Speaking of silent films, I had to pick up Charles Chaplin. S&C comedy series is 1915, it says it right there. It's all restored, 15 newly restored films. These films are only like 15 to 30 minutes long, and overall, it's a very cool movie. Overall, overall, it's a very cool box set. I only seen the first disc. I have to get down to the next disc. And I think it's 405 minutes total for both discs. So you get DVD and Blu-ray. This is the only way you can buy it. So, and I highly recommend it, especially if you're a Charlie Chaplin fan. You gotta pick this up. I think all his films on Blu-ray to date. I can't wait till later on when Criterion releases some more, which they are soon. Gotta pick this up. Very cool. Loved it. Loved the first half anyways. Next up, had to get this. Badassery. Chuck Norris horror film set. Had this on my wish list for some time. Finally came down to a good price. Had to buy this. It has Lone Wolf McQuad. Very cool movie. Missing in Action. Code of Silence and the Delta Force. The Delta Force is probably my favorite because, you know, Chuck Norris is pure badass in that. He has a motorcycle that shoots grenades out the back of his tailpipes. But he also comes down on the rope with one hand holding the gun. How cool is that? That's Chuck Norris for you. Anyways, Missing in Action on Blu-ray to have. You can buy Missing in Action 2. The third one's getting ready to come out, which I'm going to buy soon. Can't wait for that to come out. A couple other Chuck Norris films coming out on Blu-ray too. Anyways, definitely gotta pick this up, especially if you're a Chuck Norris fan. And if you don't, he'll kick your ass. Next up, had to buy this Halloween the Complete Collection. I got this for like $40, but I was lucky enough to use my Amazon points, so I basically got it for free. Overall, it's a cool box set. First two classics. Third one's very weird. Doesn't really belong in a Michael Myers series, but overall, it's a cool movie. But 4 and 5 aren't that great. And 6, and then in the 7th one, I was like, oh, wasn't all that great. All the ones afterwards, but the remake, the 2007 remake, I really enjoyed because it got into Michael Myers as a child. But the next film after that wasn't all that great because they didn't use that same kid from the first film that was playing Michael Myers as a kid. But overall, definitely have to pick this up if you're a horror fan, especially when it gets real cheap to like $40, maybe even $30 sometimes. Very good buy. Gotta have that. Next up, Criterion Collection. I got The Brood. Very weird movie. Some lady giving birth to some weird creature type kids who go off her anger. They start killing stuff and whatever. Very weird movie. I thought it was a decent movie. It looks really good on Blu-ray. The Brood. Decent film. Next up, had to buy this because I'm a huge fan of David Lynch. And finally on Blu-ray, Mulholland Drive. Had to have this. Very cool movie. It starts out like for like an hour and some, or hour and a half. It's like a normal movie. Then after that, it just completely messes up. Just goes crazy. Like, what the hell's going on? That's why I love David Lynch. He does that type of stuff. It's a very cool movie. Definitely gotta pick this up on Blu-ray. Looks really good. 146 minutes, by the way. Very well worth it. Have to pick that up. Next up, Japanese horror, 4 stories. It's called The Quiet Inn. Boom. Very cool movie. 183 minutes though. It's pretty long, but I thought it was cool. I love the stories. Each story, you know, you can take a break in between each story if you want it. I did halfway. But I thought the stories were cool. I highly enjoyed it. It's not like real scary. These are like scary stories. But very cool. Great to have it in my collection. You have to pick this up. If you're in the Japanese cinema Criterion Collection, a little bit of horror, gotta have it. Next up, have to have this. This is an all-time classic. It's on a lot of classic top 10 best movies worldwide. It's Ikaru. Very cool movies by Akira Kurosawa. Have to have this. No action or nothing like that. It's just daily life of this guy right here. That's actually one of the last scenes of the movie. This guy's living a very, very boring life, and all of a sudden he gets diagnosed with like cancer or whatnot in the stomach, and he goes out, he's like, screw this job. He's going to actually do something for the people who does it, and lives a great life through that. But overall, very good movie. Classic 5 out of 5 for me. Gotta have this movie. Very good and looks good on Blu-ray and black and white. Next up, getting down to my steelbook collection. Had to get this National Lampoon's The Christmas Vacation. Love this steelbook. Look at that. Very glossy, very cool looking. Has the inside artwork, if you can see that. I don't really have to tell you about the movie, but I highly enjoyed this movie. It's a very fun movie. Comical. Very funny. Have to have this movie. If you're a steelbook collector, you gotta have this steelbook. Very cool looking. Very cool looking. Next up, and last but not least, Terminator Genesis. Love this steelbook. I like the white. Very, very glossy. Very great looking. Love that artwork. The movie, by the way, some people think it's shit, but I thought it was cool. I love the battle between the old and new Terminator. I love how the Terminator end up at the end. It's very cool. Hopefully they make another one. I'd like to see that happen. I thought it was cool. Cool action. Better than the last two Terminators, by the way. Blows them away. Gotta have that movie if you like Terminator, just to complete your collection. Alright guys, that's everything I bought in the month of November. December will be coming up at the end of the month. Who knows how many Christmas movies I bought? Probably none, because I basically have a lot of them. But hey, thanks for viewing. Don't forget to click like or dislike, subscribe. Go visit soreelflix.com. Support me, buy through my Amazon links. Check out all my reviews. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. What kind of movies you got in the month of November, or if you disagree with anything I said. Hey, it's all love here from the Ninja. Thanks for viewing. Come back again. Ninja out.